But thanks very much for your participation. I'm afraid we're out of time, and I hope you'll join us again next week. You remember to like and subscribe on Facebook, on YouTube, and anywhere else you can get your podcasts. Thanks for participating. I'm Peter Gallo, and good night.
Hey, I'm a gun owner.
Coming back in just a minute.
Pro-gun. But until Don Thomas tells me that they can
Okay.
You're not familiar with the
TSA.
Scottish expression of a stairhead rammy, are you? No.
We are now going to link in the Zoom meeting.
Peter, I read enough Irvine Welsh to be surprisingly familiar with Scottish idiom.
Can the Zoom meeting
Yeah, you
hear
did
us?
well.
Yeah,
Can someone
Can
from
we
the Zoom
hear
meeting
her?
talk?
I can
Yeah.
hear
Yeah,
you.
we can talk.
Yes, yes.
hear you.
Can the Zoom meeting talk?
Yes, we
Yeah,
hear
Zoom
you.
meeting can talk.
Yeah.
Hey, Dad,
Hey,
question.
one more
Should Leo
comment.
be in the wrap up?
We have one
Yes.
person here who has the most equity in this.
Okay.
It's Don Thomas from TSA.
Hey.
And he says,
Okay.
they
For
have
some
problems
reason, I'm not
protecting
hearing
you.
Steve.
what
Hey,
more do you explanation? do you
Tavares.
need? I'm pro-gun.
Come here real quick.
Man, if I'd have known all
Hey,
you guys
guys.
were in the studio together tonight, I would have driven over there.
Hey,
How you guys did there, right?
Hey, Joe, you've been walking
This is the
around.
VIP lounge.
Hey.
It's by
You know,
admission
hold on.
only.
I'd like to hear from Joe. You've been walking around. Is this a crazy episode? or is
Michelle,
it
you did good. I was
real
curious on what else you had to say. It was almost
I'm here at my son's football practice.
and I'll go right behind you.
Or is that where you are?
Yeah, don't forget this is my son's wheelhouse.
So
Got it.
This is my wheelhouse.
Got to get more educated on what I would like to say, but I was hitting some points just to bring some character to
And I'm
it.
a jiu-jitsu instructor,
Yes.
so I mean,
Okay. Can you
my
all,
company also teach gun training.
can you all hear
I
the
think-
Zoom people?
Yes.
There's a
no.
lot of people talking over, and the issue might be, I don't know. Like I said, I agree. You know what I'm saying? I was like,
I
let
can
people do what
barely
they wanna
hear.
Yeah, it's low.
Okay, that's all right. He's at his
Stop
son's
and
football
talk.
practice, right?
Yeah,
Stop for a moment and talk.
That's right. Okay, he's at his son's practice. You just have to be quiet so you can hear him. Okay, keep going, Joe.
I guess I don't understand
what
why
I was
anybody would
saying
want
was-
some piece of shit 3D printed
What I was
plastic.
saying was I
You can go buy something.
You know what, though? But I don't even think the majority of
It's
it.
advancement.
yeah, they're talking over me.
I mean,
Guys, hold on, you guys.
in order to do it correctly, these
$3,000 machine.
they're so expensive. They're outrageously expensive. Majority of them come from
Michelle, can you hear me?
To me, it's just zip guns.
No,
It's
they
sharp
can't hear you,
shooter.
Bob. We're having some problems. with
We're-
that.
Joe, we're having
gonna
problems.
volume
I
up the
apologize.
conversation.
Normally I could get Michelle to be quiet, but sometimes I can't.
I understand.
Can somebody listen to Joe
was-
for a second, please? I want to hear what he has to say.
I know I'm trying.
Yeah, it was lively.
Yes.
Joe, look
I
all
was
the
saying
editing
that,
to do.
No, what I
Okay,
was saying is like hello.
Yeah, we got you.
Yes.
Let him talk.
Like I was saying, I mean, I don't have a problem with the 3D printer. You know, this what you're talking about is in my wheelhouse. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, if they're gonna blow their hands up at home, let them do it. My issue might be, or I think what the general public's issue is gonna be was because I've done
You
it.
hear
Hate to say that I have, but you can
I can
create
barely.
parts. You can create parts to make your guns fully automatic.
Right.
You can do that right now.
Yes,
I
I
can make
mean,
a
I
gun
created,
automatic right now with parts
yes,
from home.
I created
Simple.
a sear. Should I have done it? Probably not. Did I try it out at the range and folks like, hey, yes. And that's why I don't use it anymore. But do I have it at my home? Absolutely. I created it on a 3D printer on a friend of mine.
I love
So
it.
I can understand where the angst is coming from, you know what I'm saying? And I could go on a whole nother tangent about people who, you know, just have guns. Just because you bought a guitar doesn't mean you can use it.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at with it.
Okay, perfect, Joe. Well, we did. Thank you. Sorry. Hey, can y'all hear us, Jeff and Michelle and Leo and all y'all?
Now we can.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
I can hear
sorry
him
about
now.
this. Yeah, I know it's coming in light. Ed was making the most faces, so could we go to
Well,
Ed next? He was
numbers-
like Kamala Harris in the debate the other night. Okay, Ed, y'all should have seen him
No
on Zoom.
politics.
Well, look, I believe there should be common sense to everything, but the numbers that you were quoting are incorrect. First of all, they talk as a ghost gun came off a 3D printer. That's not the same when they're talking ghost guns. They're talking about untraceable guns. Every street you can pick up on any gun you can pick up on the street has the numbers filed off. It becomes it's a ghost gun. It's not the same. You can get, if you're in any neighborhood, and you know what you're doing, you can go get a gun right now. It's not a problem. And they're cheaper. You're not going to do a 3D printed gun. It's too damn expensive. And it's not repeatable long enough to be reliable. But, if somebody wants to do it, great. If they want to blow their hands up, great. Blow your hands up. That's one less stupid person. But whenever you start to regulate something, pretty soon then we have red flag laws. And they have all these laws that catch a lot of people. And I agree, criminals shouldn't have guns. Criminals aren't allowed to have them right now. And they do. And they always will. You don't regulate something.
Hey, Ed, you do understand, though, where Jeff and Michelle are coming from.
I absolutely understand. We're trying to think about common safety for the good of everyone. And the thing is that
The good of everybody.
Have you ever noticed that these people that do shootings, they don't go to a police station and shoot it up? Why? Because they're crazy. They're not stupid. They go to places where there aren't guns because they know that's the place you can do damage. If there was a gun there, trust me, you wouldn't be doing it.
All right, Rosalind, you're just coming on. By the way, did you just get a haircut? It looks really good. It looks really cute, if I'm allowed to say that. You look great. You got to unmute yourself, Rosalind. Unmute.
Rosalind.
Hi.
So what, on this discussion of ghost guns, do you see where they both have a point possibly about restriction of rights for being able to do this? Or are you more on the side of Michelle and Jeff? I don't know how much you got to hear.
Well, describe to me what the term ghost gun means.
Okay, who wants to take that?
Oh boy, 3D printed gun.
3D printed gun, I think, is what we're
One that
thinking
doesn't
about,
have a
Roz.
serial number on it, whether or not it's 3D printed or manufactured with a CNC machine that costs $5,000 in your house, or if you filed off the serial number and sold it to somebody.
Or made out of bamboo.
In our conversation, it focused on 3D printed guns.
Yeah, we're
Right, we were focused on 3D.
because of the ability to manufacture with, if you like, an unregulated manufacturing capacity in a 3D printer.
Right.
Okay.
All of us who travel on airliners would like to know, have you hear what Don, who's from TSA, has to say about this. Because he's, to me, the most important person in the panel, in the whole place on this.
Yeah.
And if you looked at the chat, you'd see what his position is.
So you're saying
on
the
airplane.
government, just so I
I'm pro
can,
gun, but I'm sorry.
Everyone watching on video should read the chat.
yeah, read the chat. We got it on there. But what Steve's saying is, yes, Don as the government is more important than Joe Boy as the private citizen.
I'm not saying that. I'm
I
saying
know, I'm just
the
throwing
safety
that
of
out
private
for the
citizens
sides here. I
on air
haven't been on the Zoom
travel is more
before.
important. That's what
Okay,
I'm
Don, do they talk about it a lot at TSA?
Yes, we do. It's a problem for us at TSA to identify the guns. We've been trained and was trained to look for these special types of guns. Toy guns, replica guns, there's so many out there. And to do the 3D printer guns it's a challenge for us. So it's a very big challenge, and that's why I'm against it, because we can't detect all of it. And then another thing,
Challenging to find drugs.
another point, multi-million-dollar gangs or organizations can afford to make them.
How does that have to do?
The average person can't make them, but the military, the million dollar gangs and the million dollar organizations, they can afford to make them.
You can buy the pieces online right now. You can buy the pieces online to build your own gun. All you have to do is got the money to purchase.
This is another factor of, if you guys knew all the stuff that goes on the plane, you will never fly again, you know?
That's
Because
reassuring.
it makes the job difficult doesn't mean it should be banned from everyone in the whole world. You
Well-
already banned them on planes. And I'm sure if people are taking drugs and putting them inside small containers, you're there to design it, define, figure it out. And I'm sure they're coming with really unique ways to hide things that they want to keep from you. And you're going to
Those
find
drugs can't bring the plane down, Joe Boy.
Are you going to
I normally agree with you, but not
Bill's
on
got a
that.
point.
Yeah, heroin never brought a
You're gonna
plane,
Find new ways to
Oh,
find them.
except for the guy flying it.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm no Walter White, but I can tell you, people are going to find ways to get things on an airplane that they don't want you to find. And you're going to find new ways to discover them. That's life. That isn't, okay, let's ban everything. Okay, let's ban forks because people can stab someone, or knives. And now we all, we already can't use a bottle of shampoo too big because, oh my God, it might have a bad chemical that we could take down a plane with. We're getting
What's the matter
ridiculous.
with that?
We have to adapt to the times. It's almost 2025. You have no idea how AI is changing, how robots are taking over. They can't keep up with everything, but they have to learn how to adapt to what's going on in the society. Things are changing fast.
They
Well,
are.
that's
but
what I
the
said. I was
question
like,
then
I go, our
becomes, just
technology
because
is
the
designed
technology is
in
advancing,
with
what can be done
Very
to
fast.
halt it, and should it
our
be
regulations.
done to halt it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
what
don't-
level do we halt it though, I guess? Jeff Nolan, what do you see as the way to do it? Is it illegal to do what Joe Boy did yesterday where he downloaded some plans for a gun? Is that illegal, Jeff? What he just
No,
did?
I think it should be.
Well, you're saying regulate his plans that he downloaded? That's
Well,
just
yeah,
like regulating
That's
anything
what
he
I'm getting
does.
at. Did he create a
can't-
criminal act, Jeff Nolan, by doing that?
We regulate arms in this country. Felons can't own guns. That's already regulated.
Interest.
Okay.
Mental health patients don't get regulated.
Well, I know, but Joe Boy has never been charged with a felony. As far as I know, he's never been convicted of a felony. So are you going to take away his right to play with a 3D printer, including building a gun?
If he's never been charged,
Building a gun.
Application to it.
Well,
I'm just
building a
what's the
asking.
gun.
history on people that have been charged with felony charges
Trust
on
me.
weapons?
he's going to get a visit pretty soon.
In other words, would this be his first felony charge if he all of a sudden decided to download these plans? They are out there. That's why we were thinking it also had, freedom of speech type concerns here too, because printing, could be considered a mode of speech.
No, you can download as much as you want. As long as
I work for a lot of IP attorneys that would love
That's
to
a-
do
that's
that.
Well, IP attorneys actually fight over 3D plans all the time.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
All right, well,
Okay.
somebody who worked at
Got a
San
point
Diego
there.
Labs
That's
going to order a plutonium core, the appropriate switch, and some lensed explosive. Then we'll see how funny it is when people get incinerated in some major city. There is a limit, and putting a 3D printed gun on an airplane that he can't detect, and all of us
Well,
go
that's already
down on,
against the
to
law.
me, and
Hold
I'm
on, already against the law.
pro-gun,
They can't
is a
detect.
ridiculous
How
thing
can
to
you
do.
get a gun that cannot be detected by an X-ray or a magnetometer?
Correct.
Because even if the entire thing is made of plastic, the ammunition, as far as I understand it, is going to be what? Have you got a plastic bullet in a plastic case with a plastic? I mean,
I went to
what the
BlizzCon a
fuck
few
is
years ago, and when I went to BlizzCon, we all got a doll that had a guy holding a rifle. And all of a sudden, 5,000 people are being stopped by TSA agents and open up their bag to show these plastic 3D printed rifles attached to this plastic doll that wasn't functional, didn't do anything. It was just a shape. And every single one of them got inspected by the TSA agent. You're saying
Good for them, they were doing their job.
Yeah.
Good for them, they were doing their job.
Some you can
exactly.
get.
I'm saying if they already have a way to detect it, they're not getting on the plane unless they're checked. So what's the problem?
I'm going with Don's opinion on this, not yours, Joe Boy.
I agree.
Some they
Wow.
can make different shapes and sizes.
Yeah, but Steve, what's your comeback to what Peter said, that you still have to have ammo that's detectable by X-ray?
Correct. I'm not denying that. The fact is, though, the gun could be used but for a bluff against a flight attendant or other people, other staff on the airplane. So to me, even allowing it on as a toy, something that could be misinterpreted to be a real weapon, should be disallowed.
That's right. Any toy replicas, any kind of replica is no good, And we cannot always find everything on the plane. Sometimes they get through, Some bullets can be made in the bathroom. They can make a bullet.
5,000 people that went to BlizzCon had to actually check all their baggage to be able to take the thing, or it was removed and ripped off the doll because it was very concerning that they might use it to, scare someone into thinking they had a real one.
Yeah, you can.
This is off topic. Is slingshots removed when you get on the plane?
Yes.
Yes.
Slingshots.
They are.
Yes.
Slingshot, like you put a little thing in a slingshot and you can
Yes.
hold somebody hostage from a
Not
slingshot.
allowed. The slingshot's not allowed unless you break it up.
Really big bottles are not allowed.
Yeah, slingshots are not allowed.
I had a wrist rocket when I was
Knives
a
are not
kid.
allowed.
Slingshots are not allowed.
Or a panel of a 72 Chevy Vega.
Anybody
You can-
know about the Detroit shoe
Report.
bomber? Wonder why people shoes are checked? Come on. You know, I'm his pro weapon. I'm an ex-Air Force captain flying fighters and have a gun. No, not,
So if a
cannot agree.
3D gun is broke up into 3 parts. If it's broke up into 3 parts and you can't tell that's a 3D gun, would that be allowed on the plane?
If we can't detect it,
If, can they assemble it to make
they
it
can
look
assemble
like
it.
a
That's
gun
the
on the plane?
problem. They can't assemble it because they come in different shapes and sizes now. They can make it different shapes. They can make it shaped anything.
It can look like a giraffe in the front. It can look like a walrus on the side, and
They
the
can
end
look
could
like
be the
this.
butt of a stick. And then they put it together. It's a whole 3D gun that looks like an animal.
I see the gun look like these, like your car keys.
Absolutely. But this is the
They can look like this. They look like a watch.
And so you are trained to detect these things and get better and better as more
exactly right.
come up with odd ways to hide things. Great. That is the job of the TSA. But banning everyone from being able to produce one at home or to be able to use the tools that are already available and criminals can already do because they're not going to follow the law. Why are you making us suffer for the cat's out of the bag? It's already there. Everyone can do it. Why can only criminals do it and not people who actually have an interest in maybe even improving designs or learning from it?
Where do you stop extrapolating that to? My plutonium sphere? Where do you stop?
Well, if you can get a plutonium sphere,
Black market, okay?
Anything is
I
motivated.
won't say, okay? But the point is, okay,
that-
literally, where do you stop? You know,
Rocket launchers. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's widespread. Everyone can get a rocket launcher, right? No, you know, it's hard to get that kind of stuff. You have to be rich and you have to be that. The issue is 3D printers are making it cheap.
yeah.
3D printers are making it easier for anyone to develop and work on stuff. Is it a bad thing? It is a thing that's out. It exists. So
It
we
can
learn
be.
to live with it and adjust for it. You can't just ban it and put everyone in jail. We're going to do sneak in everyone's house and put cameras on their 3D printers just in case they make one.
Maybe they register the printer.
If you don't register it,
Yeah, but I think it's everybody's thinking of just firearms. What about just destructive devices? What if I go home and I make a grenade?
You
Cool.
can.
you think?
Not hard to make and make them out of nails and stuff.
I'm just saying, an actual
Good childhood,
for
Joe.
that.
I mean, it's only illegal if you
Guess
use
what?
it.
I don't really
I
have it.
mean, yes, it should probably. I mean, but yeah, but think of this: I can go right now to Academy Sports and buy the Tannerite. There's my explosive ignition. Now the 3D printer, if I get plans to actually make an actual grenade where I can fill it up, I have a fuse, I have the lever on it, and everything. I have the pin. I mean, and it's like the one gentleman was saying, like, how far do we let it go?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, at what point
And-
did
and-
you break?
and-
At what point did you break the law, Joe? Was it?
And I think it would be, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just playing devil's advocate. It will be at manufacturing because, like I'm saying, I don't know if you guys have seen like the what they call the fuel filter. Those are silencers. They just don't have the other end drilled out. As soon as I drill the other end out, I just manufactured a suppressor. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay,
Yeah.
wait. Here's a question. If I take a beer bottle and I pour out the beer and I pour gasoline, I haven't broken the law yet. I put some cloth in it. I light it on fire and I drop it in my garbage can. I haven't broken the law yet because it's my garbage can. I throw it in someone else's window. Now I broke the law.
Because
It's
you're
not
harming
against the law
somebody.
to make
yeah,
Molotov.
you made a mistake.
It's against the law.
And well, after the
The
fact though,
original
you're going to get
firearms
charged
control
because you made a
legislation,
destructive device.
was not against the ownership of a gun, but was carrying it in a manner to, I believe the language was, carrying it in a manner to instill fear in the king's subjects, or words to that effect, which is essentially what you're saying. I could, there's a difference between sitting at home and building a bomb I mean, a simple bomb, a low explosive with a fuse, ammonium nitrate and fuel, and a bunch of 9-inch nails. It's where you light it and where you throw it that the offense is. Also including the predicate offenses that linked into it, like conspiracy and attempt and everything else.
So you're saying regulate the person, not the item.
No, the act.
The act.
The
Okay.
act, which is the part.
Which it is
Well,
illegal
that's
to.
what it
It
says
is
right now.
illegal to
And-
shoot
yeah.
someone with a ghost gun if you're trying. Now, if you're defending yourself in your own home, that's legal. But if you're doing a criminal act and you do it with a ghost gun, you get to go to jail because you did a criminal act.
Okay, so what my question though for you is, how do you see that we can have any form of regulation, any form of being able to track if something were to happen with this ghost gun, if it were committed into a crime, how do we have any form of tracing back to
That's
who,
the
why?
that's the question, Michelle. I for one.
Yep, I see those wheels turning, man. What you got?
How do we stop guys from filing the serial number off a Smith & Wesson? How do we stop them? Do we put cameras on them 24/7 to make sure they don't do it? Or they go to jail if they use it in a crime?
Okay, so if they use it, if they use it in a crime, so therefore it's punishable. So how do you regulate this ghost gun?
I
How
don't
do you
know.
sit there
That's
and
Well, I don't think
Use
the
it in a
argument is
crime
just
and go to
about
jail.
ghost guns because, yeah, I have nothing against it. Look, you're not going to regulate people filing off serial numbers and all of that. That's ridiculous. What you have to try to do is regulate something that's novel, that's undetectable or difficult to detect, that could bring down airliners before, and it's interesting, September 11th was just yesterday, but bring down airliners either by virtue of a bluff or by virtue of it really being a firearm. What's unreasonable
And-
about that?
And not just that, you'll have less homicides solved if you don't regulate it. Think about that. Because you can always catch a criminal with a gun, and then when that gun is like, well, how is that traced back? Has it been used in a crime before? You got ballistics. With that ghost gun, you're not going to have
The regulator has decided that that there will only way to punish any kind of gun crime is after the fact, and doing anything preventative is a bridge too far to them. And so there's no rationalizing.
You know what? I completely lost what you just said.
I don't understand.
Hey,
What did you just say, Joe? Or Joe, what did you just say, Jeff?
He's abusing his First Amendment right to freedom of speech. That's all.
Ladies and gentlemen, did you all have fun with this show? Was it a good subject?
yes.
Yeah.
I had no idea where it was gonna go, and I was really concerned, but it turned out to be a whole lot of fun.
I'm glad
Really
we
good.
did it. I didn't talk as much as I wanted to. As you saw, you two got over 10 minutes. Poor Leo, he didn't get much word wise. Sorry, Leo, but
But he did
First
quality
time.
instead of quantity.
But
I think
can I ask that when you have a subject where somebody in the peanut gallery like Don has relevant experience, that he be part of the panel? He was the most logical person,
Yeah.
in my opinion, to be
well,
part of the
he has the ability to be on the panel, but because of his mouth, he didn't want to be. He was offered to be on the panel, and I'm sorry, I cannot beat or flog him and make him be on the panel.
I was slow to start. I'm still getting the hang of things, but yeah, definitely I'll be more prepared. I like this.
Oh,
Steve,
yeah, no,
clear.
especially,
When,
yeah, you're true, you
when
do.
Joe said it's about Don's mouth, he's had some procedure and he's got cotton in his mouth, not his usual mouth.
Well, everyone, it was a lot of fun. And I think we're going to try to close it up since Bob's not there to close it. I will say thank you so much. We really had a blast with everybody. We hope you all have a lot of fun. And we hope to see you next week on The Third Side Convo, hosted by Bob Phipps.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Good night.
Bye.
And thanks.
So, Don, you're going to